When my father passed away, it felt like the entire world paused. He was more than just a parent. He was the heart of our family and the backbone of our land. The 80-acre ranch he built from the ground up, nestled in the quiet outskirts of town, was his pride and legacy. We buried him on the North Hill, overlooking the fields he loved so much. The grief was heavy, but what came next turned sorrow into rage. While I was mourning, arranging the funeral, and managing my father's estate, someone else was plotting behind my back. That someone? Karen Hughes, the president of the local HOA. Now, let's be clear. My father's ranch was never part of the HOA. He had intentionally opted out years ago when the neighborhood was first being developed nearby. But that didn't stop Karen, who always fancied herself as the queen of the community, from targeting our land. I returned home 3 days after the funeral to find a "For sale" public auction sign posted right at the front gate. My jaw dropped. So I thought it was a prank, until I saw the papers taped to the mailbox, documents from the HOA claiming delinquent fees, violation notices, and a final warning about property seizure. It was all bogus. There were no unpaid dues because we never owed anything. There were no violations because we weren't under their governance. And yet, she had pushed paperwork through the county clerk's office, using forged documents and aggressive legal maneuvering to try and initiate a forced HOA auction on my family's $2.3 million ranch. Why? Simple greed. Karen had always coveted the land. Over the years, she'd made multiple offers to buy a slice of it for community development. My father always refused. This was her power play: wait until we were grieving, and then strike. What she didn't know was that I had a background in real estate law, and I wasn't about to let her steal my family's legacy. I immediately contacted the county and filed an injunction. I gathered deed history, opt-out letters from the original HOA formation, and even emails my father exchanged with developers that explicitly stated our property was exempt from HOA jurisdiction. Within 48 hours, the entire sale was frozen, but I wasn't done. Karen had forged multiple documents to support her claim. That's a criminal offense. I hired a private investigator and uncovered a paper trail of manipulation, falsified violation notices, altered legal maps, and digital signatures that didn't belong to my father. I handed everything over to the authorities. What followed was a full-blown investigation into Karen and the HOA board. Turns out, my case wasn't the only one. She had tried similar tactics on 2 other property owners. She just hadn't pushed as far with them. One elderly couple had even sold their lot under pressure, not knowing they'd been conned. As charges mounted, Karen's perfect little empire began to crack. She tried to deflect, blame her assistant, even claim it was all a clerical error. But the evidence was clear and damning. The court not only dismissed the bogus auction, but also charged Karen with fraud, forgery, and abuse of power under civil and criminal statutes. She was removed from her position, fined heavily, and currently awaits sentencing. There's even a class action lawsuit forming from the other victims. But the real victory, walking out to the front gate one morning, ripping down that "for sale" sign, and burning it in a fire pit right next to my dad's old rocking chair. The community changed after that. Neighbors who had been silent out of fear started coming forward. People began questioning the unchecked power of HOA boards and demanding reforms. Karen's downfall wasn't just justice for my family. It sparked a movement. I still visit Dad's grave every Sunday. I tell him what happened, how I fought for what he built, how I protected his name, and how a Karen with a clipboard thought she could take everything while we were grieving. She picked the wrong family, and in the end, the land she tried to steal stands stronger than ever, untouched, unbothered, and now completely protected from any future HOA interference. This ranch isn't just a piece of property. It's proof that you don't mess with someone's legacy and get away with it.